Welcome to the station of decapitation without your head. I'm Nasty Neal, and I'm joined by Brent and Blake Cousins.
What's up, Neal? How you doing?
Yeah. They're not the Blake and Brent cousins. They're the cousins' brothers.
That's right. Absolutely.
All right. So the re-release of Slaughter Day is coming out, which you guys did in 1991. So what's that
after
like?
31?
Yeah,
what's that like?
Yeah, you made this movie 31 years ago, and now it's coming out on Blu-ray.
Crazy, isn't it? Like if you told us 31 years ago that, hey guys, your movie's not going to be seen by the masses until 31 years from now, is that okay with you guys? I think the world's missing out, because if you would have told us that, we would have made more Slaughter Day movies. So unfortunately, this is the only Slaughter Day movie feature film that we made 31 years ago. But my God, it's just it's incredible to see people actually appreciate this kind of genre after all these years, this hidden gem in a rough. And it's just it's kind of surreal that it's getting legs, and this movie is going to be seen by people. And I think they're going to appreciate this shot on video kind of style of filmmaking. And it's just an incredible thing, especially
even if they told us they're going to make action figures off our villains from Slaughter Day, we would never have believed it. And now what Visual Vengeance is what they do on their company, getting these SOVs out to the public with great packaging and getting people together to discuss and talk about these movies that were basically needles in a haystack. These basically treasure hunts for people to go out there and find these obscurity of films. So shoot, man, we're super pumped.
Yeah. I think you guys are probably about my age, so having an action figure from your movies is pretty awesome, I think.
Hell yeah, man. It's crazy. So
yeah, I was just like, honestly, really enjoyed the movie. I don't want to say like honestly, but I really enjoyed the movie, not just because you guys are here. And I think it's actually is a good time to put it out, because like retro stuff is in. People like that. People like nostalgia, and people like to make stuff today that looks like it was shot on video. But this really
that's what I've been hearing.
True. It does have it. Some people think, oh, we put this fake VHS filter over it, right. But I think these fake VHS filters actually may have grabbed some of Slaughter Day's worst of the worst and used it, because there is some roughness in Slaughter Day, but I think that's some of the charm in it. But everything was so gung-ho for us back when we're 18. We were giving it our all. We were these kids in Hawaii with nobody to look up to. There's no movie studios here, nobody to go to and say, hey, look, how do we make a film? Do you have any equipment? So we had to figure everything out ourselves, how to edit on VHS to VHS.
We're lucky mom and dad got us a video camera. That's kind of what we've always wanted. And, they struggled in life, but they put out the money to buy us a pretty decent video camera at the time. And we never looked back. The camera's been in our lives all the way through. And thanks to mom and dad for giving us that opportunity to get out there and practice what we really wanted to do and love it. So every time we're out there in the field making films is basically, that's where we want to be.
You talk about the editing stuff because, today, if I know a lot of people who make independent films and they didn't go to film school, but you can look on YouTube and learn how to do certain things, and you can get a camera easily, and you can get programs, you can edit stuff. But back then you didn't have the internet. So how did you even go about we're going to make this and edit it? How long of a process was that?
Well, we started out young, like Brent said, when our parents bought us, I think we're 12 years old, our first video camera, and it wasn't decent. It was trash. But we were thinking, hey, look, we're going to be like Steven Spielberg. Let's go make Raiders of the Lost Ark, or we'll make Indiana Jones and the Temple of Doom. And we started filming our Indiana Jones little movies, and we're like, this doesn't look like Indiana Jones. This looks really bad. And we're like, we got to figure out how to make it look like, how it looks on the big screen. So we had to have this learning curve. And then there's this movie, Evil Dead and Evil Dead 2, that came out. We're like, wow, these guys are doing something special here. So we had to develop our own camera equipment, our own sliding cam, our own dollies, our own boom crane systems, and have to finagle a way to get these shots to emulate what these these incredible directors were doing. So,
and we always liked magic too at the same time growing up. So these movies kind of allowed us to even throw in kind of a magic and practical effects into the film to get some of these one-time shots of amputations, breaking legs and breaking arms, or
beheading. It's just,
or rip a person's body in half in real time in one shot. So we're creating these illusions.
Yeah, because it has to be shot on camera. It can't be, digitally edited in later.
And that's why they should do it still.
I think everybody's wanting that now. They want that practical. And I think practical is maybe making a comeback, and maybe these movies like Slaughter Day and these movies that we're doing, the practical effects, are maybe a template for what's going to be coming in the future of cinema, because I think people are getting a little turned off on this constant CGI.
You said charm. I always say in the show, even bad like practical effects has a charm to it, and you can enjoy it. Where bad CG is just bad, and like you could tell that there's even good some CG. There's something about it, you could tell it's not quite right, even if you're not thinking about it. The weight's not there or something, and it just doesn't have that fun feel to it.
That's right. We called it Fun Blood because when we're kids making this, they called us the Blood Brothers, and we're saying, yeah, that's great, that's pretty funny. But then our whole idea was to make fun blood, because there's these horror movies back in the day too that were too grim, too serious, and gratuitous as well. We wanted to have this splatter, Scooby-Doo-ish, rated R to the brilliance of the blood splatter. But we wanted to do it fast and powerful. Like most of the kill scenes in here are just like bam, bam. And we're not like, oh, let's zoom in and let's get close-ups of, maggots, or, they just kind of go a little too far. We wanted to be this thing called Fun Blood. I don't know. We just dubbed it Fun Blood. I think
like
it's fun.
The guy getting folded in half and stuff. I mean, that's gruesome when you think about it, but it's also, there's a silliness to it. It's almost like a Monty Python kind of thing,
How did we get the guy in the book and squeeze him down? It's kind of interesting. We're thinking about, okay, the hand's going to come out of the book and it's going to grab them and bring them down. How are we going to pull this off? And this is actually interesting through editing and simple techniques and ideas that we're able to make this illusion pop.
We're seeing that on Twitter right now, the scene that we're talking about where the person gets split in half. It's trending. I think it's got like over 12,000 views in less than 24 hours. Yeah. That one clip. That's amazing.
Yeah, that's one of the major notes I wrote, because I thought that scene was great. Right? It was fairly early in the movie, and you got guys fighting and moving trucks. Like, was there any injuries while you're filming the movie?
Good question. When I was the one in the back of that pickup truck fighting our villain John Jones. We weren't roped in. There was nothing, no tethers on us.
And I'm hanging on the back of the truck with the big pole and my big heavy VHS camera stuck to it about 6 feet out. And I'm hanging out of the truck to kind of bring the camera inside as these moving shots are going.
And we had to do this. We only had a little short road that we could go on to get this one shot. And we must have went up and down, back and forth on the road a couple hundred times just to get that action sequence.
There was injuries. Blake's neck got injured from simulating punches and getting hit and whiplash on the back of his neck. And then we put our friends in some really precarious spots, having them hang off 30, 40-foot drop-offs. And if they failed, they wouldn't be here.
There's one scene where John Jones gets aboard the sailboat, one of them gets shot off the sailboat, and he's left in open water where it's shark infested. And it took us like 5-10 minutes to get around and pick him back up. So there was a lot of risk we took. I don't think we'd be able to get away doing this film now unless we had some kind of good insurance policy.
Maybe in another country, I'm thinking.
Right. Plus, you're all young. You're all, 18 at the time. You don't really think about that stuff then. And everyone thinks they're indestructible at that time.
That's right.
How about for those guys? Do you still keep in touch with your friends from the movie? And have they got a chance to see that it's coming out again?
Well, yeah, we've definitely a couple of people have passed that were stars in the movie. And then there's a couple people that have just gone their own direction in life. And, they're sometimes hard to get in touch with. I think they're aware of the film coming out. it's interesting 31 years later how people separate in life, and what a interesting thing that maybe a movie 31 years ago that we shot it could bring back people and start talking about something that we did something special, because it seems that what we did 31 years ago, there's a demand for it. And it's just really an interesting dynamic to see it come full circle in the way it has. I know a friend
that passed away this year. He was basically, he wasn't John Jones, but he is a leader of the construction crew that turned evil, Jesse. He would have loved to have seen this come out. He would have been so stoked. And he just missed it because right when Rob from Wild Eye we started talking about it. We started getting the posters and all this stuff and the dates that this was going to be dropping. He would have been right here talking with us right now and be all pretty stoked and pumped up that this is coming out right now.
Yeah. How did it all come about? Were you guys always trying to get this like released at some point? Like, how did it come about now that, you guys are getting it out again?
Well, it's interesting because, 31 years ago, we're like, how do we distribute this? We don't have anybody. We don't know anybody in Hollywood. And the only people we could show it to is our classmates in school and our parents and whatever, just a small little group of people. We found this outfit called bmovie.com. This is right when the internet was starting to get up there.
6 or a little earlier.
Maybe about 2002 or so, yeah. We found a distributor. And, it kind of went really nowhere, I think, due to the fact that there wasn't this demand and this genre still hasn't become vintage yet. See, that's what I think's interesting, is that this movie has become vintage and almost like an antique in its own way. So, Wild Eye Entertainment, Rob, walked into this dark smoke-lit, cigarette-filled room in New York City in an apartment. And in the background, there's this VHS movie playing called Slaughter Day. And Rob's like, what is this? And apparently the guy that had the VHS copy said he's been holding on to this tape for 20 years and he's been waiting to give it to somebody that would distribute it properly. So it's just really interesting how this movie saw the light of day. We pretty much gave up on it. We had no intention of this ever going anywhere at that point. We kind of just went into our own careers and didn't think anything of it. And then we got a call from Rob from Wild Eyed, said that he'd want to possibly distribute our film. Little did we know that they would like create this crazy BluRay DVD package, poster art, incredible artwork. And it's just a really amazing thing to bring these things back to life in a way that Visual Vengeance and Wild Eye bring it and make it pop on the shelf.
Yeah, Wild Eye, they always do great cover art. Like you said, back in the day, you'd walk in the VHS store and that's not necessarily around anymore, but similar idea though, because there's so many things out there and you're first going to see it with your eyes. So if you see that on Redbox or on Amazon or wherever they're selling them, you say, hey, that looks cool. I'm going to check this out.
There's some eye candy there. Yeah, we actually owned a video store for 7 years.
Oh, really?
Yeah, interesting. But yeah,
some of our highest rented films in the video store were our movies, too, which is pretty awesome.
Yeah. So, where can people follow you guys? Because I know we have a lot of time here. So, where can people follow you guys to find out where they can get Slaughter Day and what else you guys are up to?
I think if you just punch in Slaughter Day and look up on Amazon or any streaming service, it's pretty much getting rolled out and ingested. In September 13th is the release day. I think this weekend or the 29th is going to be playing in Brooklyn on the big screen at Nighthawk Cinemas. And if anybody wants to reach out to us, we have a YouTube channel and it's called Third Phase of Moon. And we have approximately 800,000 subscribers there with almost 350 million views. And we cover the UFO topic now, the UFO phenomenon.
Yeah, I looked that up about you guys. It's very interesting. Yeah.
And we've had some blockbuster documentaries that we put out that are also available on Amazon called Countdown to Disclosure. And our latest one, Above Top Secret. We just wrapped up our trilogy to these documentaries in regards to exposing the cover up of technology being suppressed from the people, whether they're ET in nature or is it some private corporation that's cracked the code in this propulsion. That's the kind of stuff we're trying to expose. And that's kind of a genre we're in right now. But we've been talking Slaughter Day, the reboot, with our skills and talent now, I'm pretty much the fastest editor on the planet. Brent's fine-tuned his camera techniques. We could make a powerhouse of a Slaughter Day reboot. So we're considering doing something along those lines, because we wouldn't mind getting into that splatter blood again. It'd be a lot of fun.
Sounds very good. Well, it would be very cool to do another interview sometime, a longer one. We could talk about UFOs too, because we have on the show. Trista, my co-host, who can't be here today, she's actually does ghost hunting out in LA. I know it's completely different, but we're into all different genres.
Great.
Well, hit us up anytime, man. Appreciate you reaching out to us and conducting this interview. We're super pumped that Slaughter Day is finally making it to the mainstream.
Yeah, I really recommend it. And again, not just because you guys are here. I really,
we transferred it to VHS to this beta tape, and here's the master of Slaughter Day. And what's interesting is that, Wild Eyed was able to restore it. Is moldy. Hey, we live in Hawaii. It's humid. It's full of mold.
I'm on Cape Cod. Yeah, I know. It's surrounded by the water too. So yeah.
Super sick, man. Appreciate it. I'm glad you enjoyed Slaughter Day. What was your favorite part?
Honestly, the guy getting folded in half is awesome. I really like the effects. I'm also a fan of when people fight like inanimate objects, like if something's flying at them so we had some of that right at the beginning. I think that's very fun. And I just like that you could tell you guys were having fun, but you're also taking it seriously. You're trying to make a great movie. And I think, if people try to fake that, you can tell, and it's not that fun. But you guys were trying your best at the time, and a lot of the effects I think, are really good for having basically no money. And true. I really like it.
Yeah, I think the biggest budget was just buying powder paint that we'd mix in with water, and
I think that's like $6 for 2 containers, pretty much.
I appreciate it, Neal. Thanks for having us.
Yeah, thanks. Good to meet you.
Keep in touch.
Definitely. Yep. Bye.
Take care, man.
Thanks.